In 2024, we had a ton of new small power station releases, most of which we had our hands on here at the lab. We put them all through some real life testing. Some of them performed really well, and some of them were absolute trash. So today we're gonna stick to our unbiased, unsponsored opinions and share with you guys our favorite small power stations of 2024. One of the power stations we're gonna talk about in today's video is I have actually kinged my favorite of the entire year. And spoiler alert, it is not this thing. So welcome back to the lab where our opinions cannot be bought. In today's video, we're covering our favorite power stations from the 300 watt hour range all the way up to about the 2000 watt hour range. So think units you would take camping or use as a creative, all the way up to something that you might use for light home backup if there's a power outage and you want to power your essential appliances. We're gonna have an entire separate video dedicated to our favorite larger power stations of 2024. And every unit that we talk about in today's video, we already have a full-length video of it somewhere on the channel. So if we breeze over something and you want to learn a little bit more about it, check down in the description. We will leave links to all the products we mentioned and their full-length videos that we have already published. Also, Black Friday is almost here, so stay tuned to make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. We have worked long and hard and negotiated some really good deals with some of these companies to make sure that we can give you guys an exclusive discount come Black Friday, the absolute best price, I hope, as long as we have not been lied to, on the internet. So make sure you guys are subscribed and make sure you guys check back in a couple weeks when that video is released. Anyways, that was way too much talking. We're gonna start at the small end of the scale and we're gonna work our way up. So let's get into it. First, tiny power station. This is the Anker C300X. We've had a lot of questions in the video of this thing. What's the difference between the X and the not X? I don't think there's a difference.
It's just black.
This one's black and then the non-X isn't black. That's all we can find, it's just gray. This guy has a 288 watt hour battery bank with a 300 watt inverter. And this guy made our list because it performed really well. It's actually really quiet. And it's got a really nice design compared to lots of the other units in its size. This guy has a strap that clips into here so you can kind of just throw it over your shoulder and walk around with it if you're camping or taking it on a hike like Anker advertises. I think it's kind of a gimmick, but it's also kind of cool at the same time, makes it easy to move around. There's lots of versatility with these ports. You have 3 120 volt house plugs on the front. You also have a mixture of USBs, USB-As, 12 volt car socket, and you can get this in a DC version if you don't actually need these house plugs on the front. If everything you run is just strictly USB, USB-C type stuff, you can get it in a little bit of a smaller package with a little bit of a pop-up dome light, and it's a little bit cheaper as well, which is kind of cool if you don't need the plugs. And this dying power station is the DJI Power 500. This is a 512 watt hour battery bank with a 1000 watt inverter. This thing made the list because it is great for creatives. DJI is a solid brand, and anybody that already uses DJI products like drones has this little SDC port right here so you can actually quick charge a lot of your existing DJI gear. And it's also extremely quiet. The DJI products, the only thing quieter than the DJI products is our $6,000 EcoFlow Delta Pro Ultra, which makes it just amazing if you're a creative, if you're filming a YouTube video and you have this in the corner, it can be running, charging your gear, doing whatever, and you won't even hear it. It's just dead silent, and that is a really good feature. In addition to that, it's got a really big inverter compared to the battery bank size, which is sick. You can get a ton of power out of this thing really quickly. It charges super fast, and it just has a great design. The little handle right here makes it easy to pick up and carry it around, and every single plug on this unit is forward facing, so you can have it kind of nooked into a corner or whatever, stacked in a pile of stuff. You can still access every single port and plug without having to move it at all. Moving up into what we call the Goldilocks group, this is like the perfect size power station if you're into camping, also kind of worried that you want to power your fridge when the power goes out. These are the perfect size units for that person. And of course, we're starting it off with the big brother to the DJI Power 500. This is the Power 1000. It's a 1024 watt hour battery bank with a 2200 watt inverter, and it made the list for all the same reasons that the Power 500 did. This thing is dead silent when it's running. It's got 2 of those SDC ports right here, so you can double fast charge all your DJI gear. And the inverter is big enough that you can actually power some pretty intense stuff if you were to, for example, have a power outage. Again, DJI just knew exactly who this unit was built for when they built it. It even comes with a little carrying bag that you can put it inside of, put all your cables and stuff in there, and just bring it to wherever you're filming that day. Everything on this one is also forward facing, all the plugs and everything straight off the front. It's just a really solid unit in our opinion. We we were really impressed with these DJI products. The EcoFlow Delta 3 Plus is a 1024 watt hour battery bank with an 1800 watt inverter. This one made the list because it has 6 AC plugs on the front, and for this size of power station, that's actually quite a lot. And it also integrates perfectly with everything that EcoFlow has done in the past. So you can actually use old Delta 2, Delta Max, Delta Pro, Delta Pro 3, expansion batteries with this thing, for example, and they all connect seamlessly and work, so you can add this to your EcoFlow lineup very smoothly. We did have a small issue while testing this thing. Based on the comments that you guys have been leaving and based on the feedback from EcoFlow, we have one that just is kind of a faulty unit. They actually just ended up sending us an entire new one because our overheating issue seemed to be unique to this unit. EcoFlow did not pay us a single dollar for the original video or this video or any video, actually. You guys know here at the lab, our opinions cannot be bought, and EcoFlow trying to work with us and trying to help us and sending us a new unit to fix the old unit is enough to justify the one issue that we had with ours. And I really hope saying this out loud does not come back to bite me in the ass. I really like that this also has a 12 volt car socket on the back. Once you get up into some of these bigger units, they get rid of this, and having a 12 volt car socket is really handy if you're going camping or something like that. A lot of the accessories want to plug into there. This also has dedicated solar ports, so if you're looking at something like the DJI, if you're going to put it out in the sun, you actually lose the ability to fast charge with the SDC port. Whereas this, the solar ports are completely separate, they're on their own, so you could run solar into this unit while at the same time having access to 100% of the plugs that it came with. You don't lose access to any of these plugs. And right here, we have my favorite power station that has released this year. I absolutely love this. This is the Anker C800X. Again, no idea why it's called the X. I think it's just black. I don't know why they send us these ones that are black and call it an X. Confuses the hell out of me, but it looks really good. This guy has a 768 watt hour battery bank with a 1200 watt inverter. This one made the list because it's simple, it's small, but it's very, very versatile, and it's a great bang for your buck. The coolest thing by far for me, you guys know I'm a big light guy, is that this has the built-in lights in the top. These are great for camping. You can use a flashlight like a torch. You have 2 different light modes here. One's a bit more aggressive, one's a bit more calming. You also get it with this little stick that it telescopes way up, so you can put it straight into the unit, light up your table, or you could just do whatever you want with these. The lights have hooks. They charge directly inside of their little home on the top of the unit. So whenever you pull up to wherever you're camping and you have just recently charged this, you also fully charge your lights. They have a long lifespan, yada yada. It also has 520 volt house plugs on the front, and they all have grounds. And overall, this is just a really versatile unit. Tons of plugs, tons of ports, works with Anker's app, has a 12 volt plug, charges in under an hour, and it's honestly just really, really good at what it does. And the first of the bigger boys of this group, we got Mr. Pecky. This is a 1536 watt hour battery bank with a 2200 watt inverter. It made the list because it's honestly a really good price for what you're getting. And if you're trying to save some money on like a name brand unit, this one performs pretty well. It does what it needs to do, and it has tons of goodies for you. It's got rubber corners everywhere, so it doesn't really slip or slide. It takes a little bit of impact better. It's the first one that we've talked about that actually has a wireless charge pad up top, which is just every other unit that doesn't have that, to me, it's just a waste of space. Like, put that up there, it's cool to have. And mainly, this thing just has a cluster of port options. There is nothing that you want that this does not have. It has barrel connectors, XT60 out connectors. It has a 12 volt. It's got the weirdest little solar plugs in the world on here. The only thing that Mr. Pecky doesn't have right here is a working kitchen sink. The app for this guy is actually surprisingly good, and it's actually a really expandable unit, which is not as common to see on the smaller end of things. This one specifically didn't really blow me away, but if you're trying to save some money, you might also want to consider this guy. This is the Oupes Mega 2. It's pronounced Opus, but they should never make a name like that. It looks like Oops. I'm calling it Oupes. The Oupes Mega 2 is a 2048 watt hour battery bank with a 2500 watt inverter. It's a bit of a bigger unit. And this guy made the list because the brand is actually really good. Every Oupes product we've tested, we've really, really liked. They have the US support. When you call, you get someone in the States, which with not name brand power stations, even with name brand power stations, it's extremely hard to come by, to be honest. And it comes in at just honestly a pretty good price for what you're getting. This is the first unit in the smaller category right here that has the 30 amp plug. This is cool if you want to use this more for like RV, camper type life. It doesn't have a true 30 amp plug. The inverter's not big enough, but you can still plug your trailer into this and run the essentials. The expansion batteries for a unit like this can actually be used on their own, which is a benefit that most companies don't let you do. You can actually take the expansion battery away from the unit and still use it to charge like your phone and stuff like that. And overall, it just has a ton of ports and plugs and options. You still get your 12 volt, you have tons of USBs. And they also have the Oupes Help Project. They donate 5% of all sales to giving power stations to people in need. The fact that it's affordable and they're doing a good deed and it works really well, it's a home run to me. And the last big small power station, my favorite one, probably just because it has a couple extra features because it's not trying to be cheap, the Anker F2000. Sounds like a fighter jet name, but it's actually a pretty sick little power station. It's got a 2048 watt hour battery bank with a 2400 watt inverter. And this guy made the list because it's honestly a big boy in a small package, kind of like Tiny Baby. Again, this one has a 30 amp plug. It's not a true 30 amp plug, but it really opens the horizons of what you can do. And most notably with this one is you have your little suitcase handle and you have wheels on the back. So you can actually move this thing around without blowing your back out. These units do tend to get pretty heavy as you get above the 1500 watt hour range. So wheels and a handle, can't fight it. Very nice feature to have. You still have your Anker unibrow light, classic port options, tons of them, works with Anker's app, has expansion batteries. It's also on its way out. I think the F2600 is just a little bit bigger than it, and that's where people are kind of going. So the F2000 has been on a really good price, and I can imagine this Black Friday, they're just gonna be clearing those things out because they got to go. But that is our favorite small power stations of 2024. We do have some discount codes for you guys down below if you just don't care about Black Friday, you hate money and you wanna just blow it all right now. Otherwise, make sure you guys are subscribed. Make sure you guys stay tuned for that video. And we also just love messing with power stations and giving you guys honest feedback, which is rare to find these days because people will take money to say anything. So make sure you guys are subscribed if you want honest, truthful videos. That is all we got for you guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out and stay charged.